Hey friends, welcome back. Today we are going to see tomato soup, a roasted tomato soup. Very easy to make in our soup series. And without further ado, let's go and see what we need to make this soup. First and foremost, we're going to roast this in the oven. So make sure that you have a baking sheet and line it with aluminium foil, not lining paper, because we're going to cook at a temperature where the paper could catch and burn, which is 425 Fahrenheit or a little over 200 degrees Celsius. So line a big baking tray with aluminium foil like this, and that's the first step. And the second step is to preheat your oven to 425 Fahrenheit or a little over 200 degrees Celsius. Alright, the star of the show is obviously tomatoes. I have 6 Roma tomatoes right here, and they are medium to big size. And this is for 2 portions. As usual, extra virgin olive oil, black pepper, salt, and then the most interesting thing, which is optional, is a few slices of beets. This will give some color to the soup. And then 3 cloves of garlic. I'm going to smash it. And then some peanuts, roasted salted peanuts for topping, as well as some cilantro for topping. And pretty much those are the ingredients. And let's go see what we need to do first after turning on the oven to 425 Fahrenheit. It's always important to coat your ingredients in oil and spices in a separate bowl before you add it onto your tray and bake. That way everything is coated nicely. If you put everything on the tray, the oil and the spices, and mix, then that is not an even coating and that doesn't cook really well. So I've halved all these tomatoes, transverse or lengthwise, and I'm going to add all of these 12 pieces into this bowl. Today everything is red. And then I'm going to have these 3 cloves of garlic that have been crushed also added to this. I'm going to add a few slices of these beets from the can, which have already been cooked, but they'll give a nice color. I'm adding about 5 to 6 slices. Apart from just adding color, they also help thicken the soup. Alright, now I'm going to generously add about 2 tablespoons of good quality extra virgin olive oil. Right, next I'm going to add, first I'm going to toss this a bit so that the oil is coated, and then I'm going to add some salt. Generously salt it. It needs the salt. And then ground black pepper. Give everything a toss so that everything is mixed nicely. It should look something like this. Next, bring your prepared sheet and then put everything on the sheet with the cut size facing up. And we're ready to bake in a preheated 425 degree Fahrenheit oven or a 210 degree Celsius oven for about 30 to 40 minutes. Now is the time for us to go and frolic outside or do something important or something else, or even just take a nap. But make sure that you have a timer. Okay, it's just been about 10-15 minutes into the cook. Beetroots and garlic have been taken out because they do not have as much water as the tomatoes do. And the tomatoes need to roast for another 30 minutes while these are ready, and you need to remove them. If you don't remove them, they're going to burn and it's going to taste bitter. Voila! 30 minutes later, the tomatoes have shrunk and shriveled, and the water has been completely taken out of the tomatoes and they have been roasted very nicely. Now I'm going to add all of these tomatoes, the beetroots and the garlic into my blender and then blend it into a smooth paste. Okay, everything has been ground into a paste and that goes into the pot. This is a little over a cup and under a cup and a half of water. I'm going to stir it, and you can add more water after you have stirred this in based on what consistency you would want. I like my soups a little thin, but not too runny, but not too thick either. At this stage, instead of the water, you could also add some kind of coconut cream or something, but then I don't like to dilute the taste of tomatoes, and hence I always use just water. It's a different soup if you used coconut cream or something else. Alright, so that is the consistency. I'm going to adjust the salt and then gently warm it up and maybe add some more pepper. It's now on a medium-high heat. And I'm going to add some more salt. You can always add more salt, but you can't take it away. I'm also going to add a few sprigs of cilantro, stems and leaves, or coriander stems and leaves in it as I gently warm up the soup again, so that the cilantro or the coriander has some time to infuse its flavor into the soup. You could add a bunch of vegan butter, but I'm going to finish this off with good quality extra virgin olive oil, and that's how I like it. And I'm just waiting for this to warm up. Now, if you do not have an oven to roast your tomatoes, it's perfectly fine. You could still roast them on a cast iron pan or a very heavy pan at a high heat with the same procedure. Coat it with oil and spices and then go ahead and roast it on a high heat pan. And there you go. The soup has warmed up really nice. It's starting to steam again. I'm going to ladle it into my favorite bowl, the only bowl I own. Okay, half of the soup is one serving and that goes in the bowl. I'm going to set this aside for later. I'm going to add, this time not crushed, whole peanuts for the crunch. It's plenty. And then I'm going to top it off with a little bit of greenery and serve it with Grassini or breadsticks. And there you have it. Oh, I almost forgot. I'm going to add a little teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil on top, just for the flavor. I am ready to delve into the soup and devour it. This is mine. You should make yours. Right now, go into your kitchen and make it. Until next time, bye-bye for now.